Hey guys, Magnus Robert here, bringing you another video. This is another event idea. I know I did one quite recently, but I decided I wanted to do this one. I say I did that quite recently, it was almost a week ago, but by the time this video is up, it's probably been a week. But obviously, I kind of had a bit of a break. I haven't really uploaded many videos because there hasn't really been much to really upload on in terms of tapped out stuff. Obviously, I've got Walking Dead profiles to do as well, but yeah, I've just been a bit lazy, I guess. But I have been doing a lot of these event ideas in the background, so although yes, I've not uploaded very many videos, I've got loads of these event ideas essentially stockpiled, ready to do videos about. So I decided this week we will do a Pride event, and this is a major update, not a mini update. I think there is actually potential for a major update in this like with this kind of theme, I guess. Now, there is a Pride month, so they definitely could do this event during that month, obviously next year. It'd be a perfect time to do it. And yeah, there's lots of gay characters, lesbian characters, and transgender characters, and there isn't as many bisexual characters in The Simpsons. I found that act a little bit difficult, but essentially each act is a different one. So obviously there's going to be a gay act, a lesbian act, a bisexual act, and a transgender act. But anyway, let's get into this startup. So Smithers complains that they don't have Springfield's famous pride parades anymore. Burns asks why. Is he bothered? Because he's not gay. Smithers says yes, but he feels the gay people should have their parade. Mr. Burns thinks this could be a great opportunity to make money, make Mr. Burns stop a gay pride. Patty complains that they can't just focus on gay people, as lesbians like her exist too. Mr. Burns sees more dollar signs and agrees. Make Mr. Burns expand the Pride Parade, and this will unlock the event. So when the event starts, there will be a Gills deal, and this will be the Kiss Cam with Just Stamp the Ticket Man for 150 donuts, and he can actually look for Homer to earn all the act currency. So in each act, Just Stamp the Ticket Man can earn event currency. So he'll be 150, so he'll come with obviously this decoration here, but he will obviously be able to earn all the currency and all the acts, so he's worth the price. So yeah, moving on, we have the first act, which was going to be called Homer's Parade Failing Phobia. Obviously just a little play on Homer's phobia, the title of that episode. Obviously I'm not going to have it so Homer is homophobic anymore. I just wanted to play on that title. So anyway, you'll get Comic Book Gay with Springfield Copy Shop for 150 donuts, and he can obviously buy a certain kind of comic book to earn gay magazines, which will be the event currency for the Homer's Parade for Failing Phobia, aka Act 1. So John says that they should celebrate the LGBT community separately and first start with the coolest letter, that being G. Homer asks John what he can do to help, and John tells him he can advertise the Pride Parade. Make Homer advertise the parade, make Springfielders prepare for the Pride Parade, and this will unlock plumbing supplies. So this will be the first building. This is a building in Homer's Phobia where John takes the Simpsons family when he's kind of exploring, showing them the kind of cool side of Springfield, or the gay side of Springfield. I think it's meant to be a joke, like some sort of euphemism, but I don't know. I guess it's kind of John's favorite locations, so it makes sense that it's added in this act. So John tells Homer that plumbing supplies is his favorite place in Springfield. Homer asks, is it because of the toilets? And John tells him, no, that the cashier is a cutie. John comments that they should make sure that they have a vehicle that can transport the paraders. So you make Homer look for transportation, make Springfielders visit plumbing supplies, and this will unlock the Gay Neighborhood Express, which is seen here. This is obviously the little kind of train that goes through the gay neighborhood in Springfield. So you just unlock this little train with the guys on it as well. John tells Homer that the gay train is no good as it's so 1990s. He tells Homer he knows what is perfect, so he shouldn't worry. He asks Homer if he can talk to the cute guy at Moe's, so Homer talks to Carl, and Lenny is pissed. So you make Homer calm down Lenny, make Springfielders ride the Gay Express, and this will unlock John's car. Really cool looking car, so I definitely think it'd be awesome if that is added into the game. So yeah. And then next, John tells Homer his car is perfect for transporting the paraders, plus he can pick up cute guys in it. Lisa tells John that they're out of money for parade supplies, and John says not to worry, as he is a master at selling antiques. Make Homer sell antiques, make Springfielders look for cheap supplies, and this will unlock Cockamamie's, which of course is the store that John runs. Now this is in the Springfield Mall, but they have added more buildings before, so all I think they should do is kind of redesign it a little bit. So this could be glass, and there's just like a little glass door here, and then the rest is kind of a glass, so you can see inside the store. And then the rest of this is just just kind of make it look like a building outside of the mall. And then John's businesses rakes in, and he is satisfied that the G of the letter LGBT is complete. Make Homer help at Cockamamie's, make Springfielders shop at Cockamamie's, and this will finally unlock John, John I think is perfect to lead the rest of the event. So you unlock him in the first act, and then he essentially will run the rest of the event. A character that I'm actually very surprised they haven't added yet. He's definitely, I would say, the best kind of gay character, if you want to kind of say who's the best gay character in the Simpsons show. I'd say it definitely is John. Homer's Phobia is a really good episode, and I just think John would be perfect to obviously add. Moving on. So the second act will be called There's Something About Marrying. This is obviously loosely based on There's Something About Marrying episode, although it kind of takes things from quite a few different episodes, especially some of the newer episodes. So you get Megan Matheson with Megan's House for 150 donuts. Obviously, she is in the Homer's Where They Are Isn't episode, and she is said to have an ex-wife, so I'm assuming that means she's a lesbian. She could obviously be bisexual, but just for the purpose of this act, I've kind of said that she's a lesbian, so she fits in. So she'll be the premium character, and she can sell art to earn wedding rings. And then in the quest line, so John says that they now need to prepare for the L in LGBT. Homer comments that only Patty is a lesbian. Megan says that she is too, and she used to have a wife. John gets catty with her and saying that she is such a mean woman. Make John battle with Megan, make Homer watch the fight in confusion, make Springfielders celebrate lesbians, and this will unlock the Museum of Fine Art. So this ties into the Megan thing. I found this act quite difficult to do just because there isn't really many kind of buildings that fit around it, but I don't know, I think this works quite well. So yeah, you get the Museum of Fine Art, which obviously is the museum that Megan goes to in the Homer's Where They Are Isn't episode, and also where a lot of that kind of plot takes place. But anyway, John says that all Megan cares about is stupid, priceless art. Homer tells him that he only cares about priceless antiques. He admits it's true and kind of, I guess, maybe apologizes to Megan. Patty complains that they can't celebrate lesbians whilst nowhere in Springfield will marry two women. John asks the Reverend, and he says no. Make Homer come up with a plan, make John argue with Lovejoy, and make Springfielders visit the Museum of Fine Art, and this will unlock the Little Chapel. So Little Chapel, obviously this was in the episode where the Springfield's garage is turned into this little kind of wedding chapel. So what this will be is obviously a skin for the Simpsons house, and the only thing that will be different, the house will be the same apart from the garage, whatever, will have this little kind of the little chapel thing, and then also you'll be able to see in it, and maybe you can see the little red carpet, and maybe also like the little kind of podium, the wedding podium sort of thing, the chapel, if you will. So yeah, that will be a skin for the Simpsons house, of course. Moving on, Homer says that he can marry women to each other in his garage like he used to, but Quimby tells him that this is no longer legal and he needs a new marriage license. Make Homer apply for a marriage license, make Patty dream of marriage, and make John rally against homophobia. And I meant this purposely because I kind of want to have a joke like that. John's like, you've got a phobia against Homer, so you're being homophobic. I don't know, just a weird joke. Anyway, and this will unlock the Possum's Church. Unlocks Possum Church. So this was seen in the episode with Evelyn, which is a very new episode where Homer imagines a church. And there's like possums outside of it. So I don't know. I just thought this, although this is in Homer's imagination, I think it'd be kind of cool to call it the Possum Church. Moving on, John tells Patty that she should be happy as they finally have a place to get married. Patty tells them that the church is filled with possums. Evelyn tells her to stop being so glum. John vows to clean it up, make John clean up the Possum Church, make Homer stop marrying same-sex couples, and make Patty spend time with Evelyn, and make Springfielders watch a same-sex wedding, and this will unlock the Van Houten family villa, which is obviously here. So this is obviously in the episode where Evelyn and Patty and a bunch of other couples stay. It was in a recent episode. So Patty relaxes with Evelyn in the villa. Kirk tells him that they can't stay, and Patty threatens him, so he backs off. Patty decides that marrying isn't for her anyway, and she just wants to be happy with Evelyn for now. So you make Patty relax, make Springfielders visit Kirk's villa, and this will unlock Evelyn, who of course is at the minute, I think, still Patty's girlfriend in the show. I'm not sure if they're still going out, but at the minute she is, I think, or at least in the most recent episode, one of the most recent episodes, she was Patty's girlfriend still. So I don't think they've broken up yet. So I think she is an important character to add, and I think the only issue with her being added is she's a relatively new character, so there isn't loads about her, so I don't know how great her kind of character quest line could be, but I've got, obviously you'll see her tasks in a bit, but I've tried my best with it, but there isn't really loads, and I don't know, I think she's an interesting character though to add. And then obviously next, the third act, we have Don't Kiss a Fool, so this will have Candace with Springfield's best and Seattle's worst coffee, and this will be 150 donuts. I forgot to put the price. And of course Candace will be able to earn the event currency, which will be mannequins. So John announces it's time for the B of LGBT, and he asks Homer if he knows any bisexuals. Homer says that Candace is, and Candace says hi. John asks, who is Candace? And Homer says, she's right here. John is very confused. Make Homer prove Candace is real, make John be confused, and make Springfielders continue with the pride. And this will unlock alternative knife styles. Now Candace, just going back to her real quick, the wiki lists her as bisexual. Apparently she said she used to go out with a woman or something, so, and obviously, although yes, she's a hallucination, I guess, she's an imaginary character, she does go out with Homer, so although yes, she's an imaginary character, I mean, she hints that she's bisexual, so I don't know, I think it fits. Anyway, John tells Homer that he has just made a deal with the head of Alternative Knife Styles, and they've agreed to make bisexual-themed knives, but they really need to find a bisexual Springfielder to represent them. Make Homer think of a bisexual, make John make more business deals, and make Springfielders buy alternative knives. And this will unlock the Nudie Mart. Obviously I forgot to show this. So that's obviously Alternative Knife Styles, that's the first building you unlock. And then next is obviously Nudie Mart, which will be a skin for the Quickie Mart. So yeah, it will obviously just turn the sign and you'll see the topless dancers and also the little kind of red curtain behind the door. So it'll be an interesting skin for the Quickie Mart. Anyway, John tells Homer that he has made another great deal with Apu. Homer tells John that he still can't think of anyone who is bisexual. John asks him if he's ever kissed a man, and Homer tells him he has once, but he forgets his name. John tells him to go work it out and to go to work, and it might refresh his memory. So you make John make more business deals, make Homer work at the plant, make Springfielders visit the Nudie Mart, and this will unlock Victor/Victoria's, an upscale men's clothing store. So you get this one here, kind of cool. Obviously it was shown in the gay neighborhood episode, although a lot of these buildings are in the gay neighborhood. I don't know, I just think it fits easier to add the John stuff in the gay act, and then the bisexual act just add all the gay neighborhood stuff. But anyway, moving on. Homer tells John he remembers the man's name was Carl. Carl says that he's only ever kissed Lenny. So John asks Homer if he is lying, and Homer tells John that he doesn't work at the plant anymore, but he used to be his assistant. Make Homer look for Carl, make John make more business deals, make Springfielders visit Victor/Victoria's, and this will unlock Fab Abs, which is another store in the gay neighborhood. You don't really see it properly, but you can kind of make it out here. So I think it's similar to this building here. I don't know. They could just design it themselves. They've done that before. Anyway, Carl is happy to see Homer again, and and Homer asks Carl if he could represent bisexuals at the parade, but Carl reveals he's just kissed Homer as his mother told him not to kiss a fool, and he's not actually bisexual or gay. And this has been like a long debate in the Simpsons community if Carl is gay. Well, at least on the wiki anyway it is. But apparently he's German, and sometimes obviously can be a sign of respect to kiss a man. But I don't know. Obviously, it's not really entirely revealed what his sexuality is, so I mean, they could be just ambiguous with it, I guess. But I don't want John to be the representation. I want Mole Man to be. But anyway, so Homer tells John that he's sorry as he didn't find a representative. But John reveals that Mole Man will be the icon for bisexuals. So you make John stylize Mole Man, make Homer talk to Carl, and make Springfielders look around fab abs. And this will obviously unlock. Finally, you get Carl. Definitely a really cool character. One of my favorite kind of one episode characters there is. I really love the episode he's in. Yeah, so I think it'd be a great character to have. And then anyway, finally, we have the final act, which I forgot to put the thing, which is gorgeous representation. So this is the transgender act, obviously. So you get Wallace and Booth Wilkes John with Wilkes and the Wilkes John house. So Wallace Wilkes John Wallace Wilkes John and Booth Wilkes John. You get both of those characters for 200 donuts with the Wilkes John household, I guess. So this obviously is another quite recent character. Obviously this is a neighbour of the Simpsons, so they live, I think, just down the road or something. So obviously Wallace herself is a transgender woman, and what's his name? Booth. This guy Booth, he is obviously married to Wallace. So although he's not transgender, I don't know. I think just because they're minor characters, I think it makes sense just to add them together with the house. So yeah, he'll go into the transgender act, even though he's not transgender himself. But anyway, John tells Homer that it's time for the final letter, T. He asks Marge if she has any transgender neighbours, and she tells him that their neighbour Booth is married to Wallace, who is transgender. Make John phone up Wallace, make Springfielders set up the parade march, and this unlocks Stan Lorena. Wait, what? Okay, I put the epilogue there by mistake, but yeah. So you get Stan Lorena, who is of course Helen Lovejoy's cousin. So Helen tells John that she has a much better representative for the parade, her cousin, Stan Lorena. Marge says that Wallace is much better. Judge Harm argues that she is a powerful transgender person and is much more suited. Make Marge argue with Helen, and Judge Harm make Helen argue with Marge and Judge Harm, and this will make Springfielders listen in on the argument, and this will unlock One Ocean View Drive, which of course is Judge Harm's houseboat. So obviously this transgender act, is a little bit difficult. There's not really buildings to fit around it, although you could add the gay neighborhood buildings. I just feel that the whole kind of transgender representation almost. I don't know. It's a lot to imply it's gay is, I guess, could be a bit offensive. I'm not sure, but so I decided to actually more focus it around characters. So you get 3 characters, 2 of which are playable, one's an NPC, and obviously 2 buildings. One of them being Judge Harm's houseboat. Obviously Judge Harm's houseboat wasn't added in the update where Judge Harm was added, so I think it would make sense to add it here, definitely. And it's an interesting building to have. So Judge Harm tells John that she is a powerful judge in Springfield and clearly deserves to represent the transgender community. John tells her that she is far too catty for the role. Judge Harm vows to release her seal poncho on him. So you make John run away, make Springfielders finish up the parade banners, and this will unlock Poncho, who is obviously the little seal that lives near the houseboat, which I guess is Judge Harm's pet, I guess. It's not really clear, but he obviously is kind of an alert dog. I just think he should be an NPC, and when you tap him, he barks, which is what he does in the episode, so yeah. So Helen says that Stan Lorena is clearly much better to represent the transgender community, but Stan Lorena says that she is far too shy to do so. Marge asks Wallace, but Booth tells Marge that they are too busy with board games. John asks Wolfcastle if he knows any Hollywood transgender actors. Wolfcastle tells him about McBain's sidekick. Make John make some calls, make Helen shout at Stan Lorena, make Springfielders watch McBain films, and this will unlock Ginormous Pictures, which is obviously just another film studio. I'm only really adding this to tie in with the Clara House of Ruin, House of Rowan thing. But yeah, I think it makes sense just in terms of the kind of quest line. A bit of a random building, but I don't know. So yeah, John talks to Clara Housefuhren, who plays McBain herself. Clara says that she makes a much more badass McBain than Wolfcastle. Make Wolfcastle show off his action skill, make Springfielders visit ginormous pictures, and this will unlock Clara Housefuhren. Now, the thing with Clara, I'm just going to call her Clara. The thing with Clara is she is seen in one episode where she is, besides McBain, she's kind of like almost like the love interest. But there was these little kind of cards that were released for different Simpsons characters, and in these cards here, it revealed that she was actually she used to be called Ron, so she's actually transgender. So I don't know if you consider these canon, these cards that were released, but I just think for the purpose of this update, they should just consider them canon, because it's not exactly like this character is major in The Simpsons. She's appeared once in, on the TV of the Simpsons house. So I think in that regard, she's not really that important anyway. So it's not like they're ruining kind of canon or anything if they make this canon. So yeah, I think they should just say that this is canon, this card that was released is canon, and she used to be called Ron, so she is a transgender woman herself. Also, I just think it could be cool in her character questline. She could do like a little kind of who is the better McBain, the female McBain or the male McBain. I just think that could be quite funny. Anyway, going on to tasks. So you got Just Stamp the Ticket Man. Demand his ticket stamped for 60 minutes. That will be an animation. Look for things to sicken him for 4 hours. That could be anywhere really. Quickie Mart maybe. Pester Flanders for 6 hours. Obviously at the Flanders house. Collect stamped tickets for 8 hours. That will be at the Springfield Mall. Punch Homer for 12 hours, that will be an animation of him punching Homer, and then look for Homer for 24 hours, that will be probably the Brown House, or could be anywhere really. And then you got Comic Book Gay, complain about stereotypes for 60 minutes, that will be an animation of him kind of doing his complaining face. Photocopiers Comics for 4 hours, that will be at the copy shop. Buy more comics for 6 hours, that could be at the Brown House, or maybe Android's Dungeon. Date Julia Julio for 8 hours, that will be at the Village apartments that we got in the last gay update, or the last Pride update. Smuggle Comics for 12 hours. This will be an animation of him just holding a bunch of comics walking around. He didn't actually do that in the episode, but he doesn't really do much in terms of just kind of comment, so they need to come up with something. I don't know if that could work. And then finally, sneak into Android's Dungeon for 24 hours. That will obviously be at the Android's Dungeon. Then you've got John, Zap for 60 minutes. That will be the thing with his little gun there. Shop at Plumbing Supplies for 4 hours. Shift at Cockamamie's for 8 hours, Boogie with Homer for 12 hours, that'll be an animation like he does in the episode, and then plan next year's Pride Parade for 24 hours, that will also be at Cockamamie's. You got Megan, Be the Biggest Bidder for 60 minutes, that'll be an animation, that'll be literally this picture here. That should be Plot Our Heist. Plot Our Heist for 4 hours, that'll be at her house. Look at her collection for 6 hours, that'll also be at her house. Sneak into Mr. Burns for 8 hours, obviously at Mr. Burns' house. Do yoga for 12 hours, that'll be an animation, or I think it was like, it wasn't yoga as such, it was something else, but whatever it was, the gymnastic things she was doing in the episode. And then steal fine art for 24 hours, that will be at the Fine Art Museum. Then we got Evelyn, watch TV on the go for 60 minutes, that will be an animation on her phone, kind of viewing that TV show that she does in the episode. Spend time with Homer for 4 hours, that'll be the Simpsons house. Relax at the Villa for 6 hours, obviously at the Van Houten Villa. Date night with Patty for 8 hours at the Gillard Truffle. Hike for 12 hours, that'll be an animation of her hiking like she does in the episode. And then Calm Down Patty for 24 hours, that will include Patty at either the Villa or the Spinster City apartments. Then we've got Candace, flirt with Homer for 60 minutes, that will be an animation. Wait for coffee for 4 hours, that will obviously be the coffee shop that you get with her. Celebrate by Pride for 6 hours, that probably will also be at the coffee shop. Haunt Homer's imagination for 8 hours, that will be obviously include Homer, and that will be at the Simpsons house. And then grab a coffee for 12 hours, that will be an animation of her drink, kind of walking around sipping coffee. And then shift at Odibius Rex for 24 hours. That is the building that we got in the episode tie-in for this episode. That was years ago. So obviously they'll have to re-add that building, but yeah, so she'll obviously go to that building. And then we got Carl, kiss Homer for 60 minutes. That will obviously be an animation of him kissing Homer. Definitely want to see that. It's one of the funniest things in the episode. Get a promotion for Homer for 4 hours. That will be at the plant. Shop for knives for 8 hours. That will be at Alternative Knife Styles. Answer phone calls for 12 hours. That'll be an animation of him kind of sitting down, answering phone calls, and then also maybe sipping tea like he does in the episode. And then assist Homer at the plant for 24 hours. That'll be at the Simpsons, the nuclear power plant. And then we got Boof, Wilkes John, Jello Bake Sale for 60 minutes. It'll be an animation. This little bake sale will appear and he'll be standing behind it. Kick Out Homer for 4 hours. That'll be him and Homer in his house. Gossip About the Simpsons for 6 hours. That'll be at the house as well. Get Out Board Games for 12 hours. That'll be an animation of him kind of chucking out board games, like getting excited about them or something. And then set up a new game night for 24 hours. That'll be at his house again. Then we got Wallace, Play the Part for 60 minutes, animation. That will be her in this uniform here. She does wear something else in the episode as well, so I think she should be added in the other thing. Wearing the other thing, the other outfit. And then this will be the animation, this outfit here. Make Jello for 4 hours. That'll be her house. Shop at Victor/Victorious for 6 hours. Obviously, there. Support husband for 8 hours. That'll be at the house. Buy a new board game for 12 hours. That'll be her holding one of the board games that was seen in the episode. And play board games throughout the night for 24 hours. That'll be obviously at the house. Her house, anyway. And then we've got Stanley Arena. Punch the Air for 60 minutes. That's an animation. That's just something random I threw in there because I have no ideas for her animations, really. Shop at Fab Abs for 4 hours. Shop at Victor/Victorious for 8 hours. Spend time with Helen for 12 hours. That'll be an animation. Obviously, Helen kind of like, I guess, gloating about her transgender cousin that she does in the episode, which is kind of what she does. And then spend time with family for 24 hours. That will be over at the Lovejoy house. And then finally we got McBain or Clara, House of Furin, or however you say it. Shoot up bad guy for 60 minutes. That will be an animation. Search for Senator Mendoza for 4 hours. Get a new film deal for 8 hours. Stare into the camera with McBain for 12 hours. That will be an animation. That will include McBain, so you will have to have the McBain skin unlocked for Wolfcastle, and they become the new McBain for 24 hours. These will obviously all be the channel. That will be at channel 4. That will be at channel 4. Is it not channel 4? Channel 6. Yeah, channel 6 studios. So that will be these two here, and then get a new film deal. That will be at Ginormous Pictures, or I guess these could be at Ginormous Pictures as well. I guess it doesn't really matter too much. But anyway, that is my Pride event idea for 2021, I guess. Yeah, there's definitely lots of cool characters they can add. I definitely would like Carl in the game, like I said, and also John. I guess John and Carl would be my highlights, and just at the Ticket Man. I think it'd be kind of cool if they could add him into a Girls deal. Yeah, I think the Pride events in the past have mainly focused around the gay characters, and not really focused around like lesbian or transgender characters, so it could be interesting for them to do that differently. So yeah, and anyway, that's my idea. Tell me your thoughts on it, guys. Do you like it? Do you hate it? What would you change about it? And yeah, I think personally it works quite well, and I think it works quite well to do obviously a different letter of LGBT per act, and it works quite well, I think. So anyway, thanks for watching. Tell me your thoughts, and I'll see you next one. Goodbye.